Welcome to today's lesson on how to register domain names. When I started out, one of the very first things that I did, that was in 2013, was to register my first domain name. And if you are going to start an online business in a serious way, you are not just doing it as a hobby, you are taking it seriously and you want people to take you seriously, you should definitely have a domain name. Okay, there is the alternative of having a subdomain on various kinds of platforms, maybe something like yourname.wordpress.com, but that's not professional. Okay, so what we're going to cover in this lesson is how to register a domain name. But before that, we are going to talk about domain names in general, because this is a training for beginners. We are not assuming that you know anything. Okay, so we're going to break everything down. And if at the end of the day you have questions, okay, you are going to be able to ask your questions and get them answered on our discussion platform. Okay, so what is a domain name and why do you need one? Your domain name is your address on the internet. That's the short way to explain it. It's your address or your identity on the internet. If you type facebook.com into your web browser, for example, facebook.com is a domain name, google.com is a domain name, philipamiola.org is a domain name. So when you type a domain name into a web browser, it leads you to the website that the domain name is pointing to. So why do you need a domain name? The first reason is that that's your identity online. That's the address that you give people. That is where people can find you online. Technically, you don't need a domain name. Every location on the internet, technically now, okay, let me complete it first. Technically, you don't need a domain name, but practically, you need a domain name. In fact, as your business grows, you are going to have several domain names. As I'm speaking now, how many domain names do I have? I know nothing less than, let me see, nothing less than 8 that I personally own. Okay, but if I say that and count, it might be actually more than that. But the point is, technically, you don't need a domain name, but practically, you need one. Now, technically, every location on the internet has something that you might call coordinates, okay? But on the internet, it is called IP address, okay? Just like when you are going somewhere physically now, maybe you are going to a location that you've not been to before, or even somewhere that you've been to, there are the coordinates. You can say, okay, something degree north, something degree east, in latitude and longitude. You can define that any place on the earth. You can define any location on the earth by its longitude and latitude. But imagine if I'm going to Ikeja, Lagos, for example, maybe I'm going to, for example, let's just say number 30 or Bahakran, Obahakran Avenue or whatever, Ikeja, Lagos. Okay. Now, that is easy. I can ask anybody, I can type it into the map. But if I tell you, okay, longitude 4 degree north or whatever, latitude something degree east, you are going to look at me like, are you okay? What are you talking about? Because now I'm giving you technical information which you may not be able to process. You understand? So in the same way, your website on the internet is going to have an IP address, but the IP address is in numbers. What the domain name does is that the domain name translates those numbers into memorable words that people can easily remember and type into their browser. For example, I can't tell you that, okay, go and visit what my website address is 114.231.804. You will feel like, what are you talking about? So instead of having to type in an IP address, you are going to register a domain name. So that domain name is what people are going to use to locate you online. And it's also a very important aspect of building your brand, either your personal brand or the brand of your business. And it goes on and on. You can do your own research and find out why you need a domain name. But those are the basic reasons, okay? If you are starting a business, for example, you need a location, you need an address where people can find you, okay? For online businesses, that address is your domain name. And even for brick and mortar businesses that want to go online, which every business should go online, by the way. Okay, so everybody actually needs a domain name. You need at least one domain name for your personal brand, and you need at least one domain name for your business. But when you are just getting started, I advise that you start with a domain name for your business and use your name. Okay, I, for example, have philipamiola.org. Okay, so that's my name, then .org. Okay, so you should start with your name. That's what I recommend. It helps to build your personal brand. It helps to increase your online visibility. And when you are just getting started, especially, you are not sure exactly, what you want to do. Like there's this scripture that says that it has not yet appeared what we shall be. Okay, but when we see him, we shall be like him. So it doesn't yet appear what we shall be. Your business, it doesn't yet appear what your business shall be. Okay, you may think, oh, this is what I want to do. 3 years down the line, you may want to pivot. And every business should actually get to a point where you pivot, by the way. Those are some of the things we're going to deal with in the subsequent training sessions and especially the coaching program. But for a start with your name. Now, you can do anything under your name because your name is your name. You understand? And once you build popularity, as it were, with that name, once people identify with that name, any other thing that you do, okay, people are going to trust that name. They will transfer the trust that they already have in your name. They will transfer it to every other thing that you do. You understand? So you are building brand equity, so to say, and goodwill. Okay, so it's important that you build it on it's just like building a house now. Okay, you want to build your house on your land, a land that that is not like maybe 3 years from now government will say sorry, this land belongs to us, or somebody. You understand? So in the same way, your online business is like building a house. You want to build your house on the land that you own. We're still going to get there. That's one of the reasons we say you should have your own domain name, and then we are going to also have a hosting account, web hosting account. We'll get there. But the point I'm making here now is that if you build a business on your name, you will always own your name. If you're not like one fellow that sold his name, he auctioned his name, but that's by the way. Now, but you will always own your name, you understand? So whatever else changes, your name is your name. Even if you change your name later, okay, you still have the right to the name you were using before. Now, for those that maybe, I don't know where that, okay, don't let me bring up controversy. But the point is, if you are a lady, for example, and you want to use your maiden name, it's okay. Or you could use something like, let's say your name is Tomilayo, for example, and you are not yet married. And let's say your full name is Tomilayo Abubakar. So you are thinking, if I put tomilayoabubakar.com, okay, what if when I marry another? It's not an issue. Your name is still your name. You can redirect. That's one option. Then another option is you can simply use Tomilayo or something like work with Tomilayo.com. Do you understand? Okay, there are lots of ways to work around it. The specific details for each person, we can deal with those during the feedback and discussions. Okay, so you are going to find a link in the course of this training where you are going to be able to join our discussion platform if you are not there already, so you can ask any questions that you have. But some basic things to consider when you are choosing a domain name. I've told you, first of all, if you are registering your first domain name, make it your name. Register your name as a domain name. And I advise that you register a .com domain name for a start, because .com is the most popular top-level domain. Okay, is the most popular. Sometimes people may not remember your domain name, but if they remember your name, they will just add a .com to it. Okay, so it's advisable that you start with a .com domain name. But for various reasons, you may register anyone that works for you. You can register a .org, you can register a .xyz. Technically, again, .com is for businesses. .com then looks like commercial. .org then looks like organization. Okay, then .xyz is like a new .com. Okay, if you want to register something and the .com is not available, you can use .xyz. But all of these things at the end of the day is a matter of preference, except for a few domain names that are regulated. For example, if you want to register a .gov domain name, .gov, maybe you want to register something .gov or something .gov.nj, depending on your country, you are most likely going to need authorization letter from a government agency. Okay, you have to present that to the domain registrars for them to say that you have a right to register that domain name. Or you want to register a .edu domain name, okay, sometimes you may need to present evidence that you are an educational institution for you to be able to register. But apart from that, you are free to register a domain name with any top-level domain. Top-level domain is that thing at the end of the domain name, like .com is .com, .org, .net, all of those things, they are called top-level domain, TLD. Then there is what is called country level domain. Now, some of these things is important that you understand, because what we're trying to do is not just about making money. You are going to make money, okay, but we want you to also be a thorough professional, okay. And the difference, one of the main differences between professionals and artisans is that professionals really understand what they are doing. You understand, it's not just about the technical details. You understand, you know what is happening behind the scenes. Some of these things you don't need these details right now. You may think you don't need these details right now, but they are going to come in handy one way or the other at some point. Now, for country level domains are controlled by different countries. There are different levels of requirements, okay, from each country to use their domain name, to use the country level domain. Now, if you have a .com.ng, for example, or a .ng domain, or a .org.ng domain, those are country level domains, or maybe a .uk domain or a .us domain. Those are country level domains because they are associated with particular countries. Okay, so choosing the right domain name, okay, you can start by using the name, your personal name, if it's your first domain name, or the name of the brand that you want to open a website for, or that you want to start a business with. Okay, then there are some general guidelines. Use something that is memorable, something that people can easily remember, and avoid punctuation marks. For example, hyphen. Some people have domain names and they have an hyphen in between. It makes things unnecessarily cumbersome. Then figures, like maybe you want to write something like okay, funds for ngos.org. Let me even try that. Let me check if there is I think I've seen a website like that before. Let me just Google funds for NGOs. Okay, let me see websites. Let me see what comes up. Okay, now look at this. Now, funds for ngos.org. Now, this is nice. Okay, this is actually okay, fine. See, funds for ngos.org. Now, let me show you what I'm saying. This is a domain name here, funds for FOR. Now, some people may want to do something like this, funds for. Do you understand? This is not appropriate. Well, it's okay if that's what you want, but it's not advisable, okay, because people now have to be wondering, or what are you talking about? Is it figure 4? Is it, you understand? Okay, you should pick a domain name that once you call it, you don't have to start spelling it, except maybe it's actually a very special situation. Okay, so those are just some of the basic details. So one, choose a domain name that is likely to be permanent. That's why I said, for example, you can start with your name. Okay, then avoid hyphenation and other unnecessary punctuations. Avoid figures. Okay, having figures like 2, 4, all of those kind of things in your domain name. Then as much as possible, if and when you can make it work, try not to use a domain name that might be confused with that of another brand, so that people will not want to visit your website or transact with you, and then they are transacting with another brand, thinking that you are the one they are transacting with. Do you understand? So those are some of the things. Now, how do you make money from domain names? Because this is part of our digital cash flow program. One of the goals is that at the end of this program, if you implement everything that you learned, you should make at least your first $1,000 within 30 days. Okay, that is after you have finished the program, you've gone through the training, you've implemented everything, then you start counting from there. The next 30 days, you should have at least made $1,000. You can make a whole lot more. Okay, but the idea is that once you make something, you can multiply it. You can just rinse and repeat and more. You understand? So we're going to start from this very lesson. We're already talking about, okay, so how can you make money? Now, there are lots of ways you can make money from domain names. I'm going to mention a few. One of them is offering domain name registration service. Okay, you are registering domain names for people. You charge them the name that the domain registrar charges you, and then you charge your own service fee. And your service fee depends on your level of confidence and the other things you are adding, the added value. You understand? Those are some of the things we're going to talk about under value-based pricing. So what are the added benefits you are creating for the client? I have a friend that back then when .com domain name was still like 3,600. Yes, 3,600 thereabout. This young man used to charge 20,000 naira for domain name registration, like 20,000 naira just to register domain name. And it's okay. Yeah, you've probably heard the story of a man that his car broke down and he had tried everything, he couldn't fix it. So he called the mechanic, and the mechanic came, knocked somewhere in the engine, and the engine roared back to life. And said, okay, so how much is my bill? And the mechanic said, okay, you are paying me $1,000. So the car now looked like, you just eat somewhere and you want to take $1,000 for that. The mechanic smiled, said, no, I'm charging you $1 for hitting, then $999 for knowing where to hit. You understand? So what I'm saying is that you can't really put a price tag on the value you are creating. It's up to you, your level of confidence, the perception, okay, that the client has. But transparency is very important, because if you register a domain name of 1,005 or 4,000 naira, you collect 20,000 naira, a domain name of $10 and you collect $100, and you are not transparent about it, you are going to start losing trust, especially when the client now finds out, oh, this is how much this thing costs. Okay, so what you should do is you should have a way of breaking it down such that it is clear that this is your consulting fees, or these are your consulting fees, and then this is the name for registering the domain. Do you understand? These are just some entrepreneurial tips that I'm giving you now. Entrepreneurial knowledge is not just the technical knowledge alone. You understand? Okay, so we're going to discuss that further as we go on, especially on the discussion platform. Okay, so that's one of the ways. By offering domain name registration services, you register domain names for people and you charge them for it. That's one. Then another way is something that is called domain flipping. If you find a domain name, but don't do this for established brands, don't do it for a brand that is already registered, or somebody, you don't pick somebody's name and register a domain name, then you can cause problem for yourself. It's called cyber squatting. But there are some names that are just nice names. Okay, let me give you an example. Should I give the example now or later? Okay, let me give it now, because it's something I'm going to. Okay, I wanted to register this domain name. Okay, fund your dream. Is it fund your dream or fund your dreams or fund my dream? Which one did I? Okay, I think I tried this. Fund my dream. Yes. Let's say fundmydream.com. Okay, you are going to see something now. Okay, can you see? Fundmydream.com is packed free, courtesy of GoDaddy. What this means is that this domain name has been registered. Okay, it has been registered by GoDaddy, even though they are a domain registrar themselves. The registrar domain is, and I don't trust GoDaddy and I don't recommend them. I don't have the time to talk about all of the details now, but generally it's like they have some practices that are not exactly ethical. Okay, so I don't know. So this domain name now, they have bought it. So if you want to get this domain, you have to get it from them, okay? And then you are going to pay a lot of money for it. You understand? So if you have some domain names that are nice like that that maybe some brands might be interested in those domain names, you can register them, and then so I have this domain name. Would you like to buy? That kind of stuff. Okay, that's another way to make money from domain names. Okay. Okay, well, I'm thinking, what should I share? What should I not share? And I want to share everything, but I don't want this to be too long. Okay, so that's why we have the discussion platform. Anyway, we can take it further there. Okay, so that's another way. Okay, you have a domain name, you register it, and then you resell it at a higher rate. It is called domain flipping. Let's Google domain flipping. Let's see what, okay, domain flipping. Okay, you see, when you buy a domain name as cheaply as possible, sometimes you can be done without doing anything with it. You sell it to another person for more than you originally paid for it. Then you get to keep the profit. You understand? So those are some of the ways. Then you can also make money from owning your own domain name and building a website on it and making it a profitable website. You understand? Such that people want to associate with your brand. They want you to maybe speak for them, for example, as an influencer. You understand? So those are some of the ways. And one other way, which I'm going to advise that you get started with, is affiliate marketing. You can make money from domain names through affiliate marketing. For example, I am going to share a link with you to register your domain names, and it's an affiliate link. I have registered as an affiliate with Namecheap. Namecheap is the domain registrar I recommend. I've been using them since 2013. Okay, if you check, okay, so that you see that we're putting our money where our mouth is. Okay, I'm not recommending that you use something that I'm not using myself. This website, where we're learning a lot already. This website, you can use it to investigate a domain name, do it a lot of other things. Okay, so whois.com. Okay, so I type this here. This is my domain name, philipamira.org. Look at it. Okay, it's registered with Namecheap, and I've registered it since 20th of August 2013. Okay, then I'm hosting with DreamHost. This is actually the host that I recommend to, but we're going to get there. So you see, like, just to show you that the things that I'm telling you are things that I'm doing myself. But don't register your domain name with Whois. You can use it to investigate the domain name. Register with Namecheap. There are lots of reasons, but I can't. I wouldn't cover all of them in this video, so that the video will not be too long. Okay, but just follow instructions as a beginner. Follow instructions. Then ask questions. Yes, ask questions. Ask your questions on the discussion platform. I will explain further. There are some things that will not come out until you ask questions, not because one doesn't want to share it, but maybe because one did not even think of it. So asking questions is like opening the tab. okay, and then the water, as it were, can come out, or you are drawing counsel, by asking questions, okay? So now I'm going to give you a link. You can go directly to namecheap.com and register your domain name if you want, but I advise that you go through the link I'm going to give you. That link is an affiliate link. When you go through that link, I get a small commission at no extra charge to you. So all of those kind of commissions, those are some of the things that we used to fund, some of these things that we do, you understand. So it's going to be appreciated. So if I'm teaching you, if I'm training you, then you want to support in some way. But if you are not okay with that, no problem. Just go straight to namecheap.com and register your domain name. But that's another way to make money from domain names. You sign up after you've registered your own domain name. You sign up as an affiliate and you recommend the service to others. You share your affiliate link with them. When they register through your link, you get a commission. Okay, so those are some of the ways to make money from domain names. So where do you buy domain names? Organizations or companies that sell domain names are called domain registrars. I just showed you two. GoDaddy is a domain registrar. Namecheap is a domain registrar. There are several. There are lots of them. Okay, I recommend Namecheap, like I told you, but you are free to go with any option that works for you. But as a beginner, at least for your very first project, just follow the instructions. Okay, then you can now start to see, okay, I want to modify, I want to vary what I'm doing and all of that. So you buy domain names from domain registrars. Web hosting companies, we're going to get there. Web hosting companies also sell domain names, and sometimes domain registrars also double as web hosting companies, and web hosting companies also double as domain registrars. For example, Namecheap, they are also web hosts. You can host your website with them. You can register domain name with them. They also sell domain names in partnership with another organization. Okay. So that's it. Now, just to clarify, because we said this is for beginners. Now, your domain name is the address of your online business or your online office or your website or whatever platform it is online, okay? Then the hosting is the land, the plot of land upon which that building, if you consider your website now as your building, that plot of land upon which your website is sitting is what is called the hosting. And when you want to buy a plot of land, there are a lot of things you consider. You want to consider accessibility, for instance. You want to consider the location. You want to consider a number of other things. So that's why for us, for example, all of our websites are hosted with very reliable web hosting companies. Okay, because your web hosting, the quality of your web hosting will determine the speed of your website, to determine security to some extent, and a lot of other things. We're going to cover those details when we get to web hosting, but I just want to mention it now so that those that are totally new to this will not feel lost. Okay, so just follow. And take notes, okay? Don't try to, when we get to the practical session, don't try to follow and implement as I'm doing it, okay? Just take notes, okay? And make sure that you understand, then come back and, go over it and implement, you understand? But when you are watching the video, don't try to pause and implement, no, you can pause and go back and rewind if necessary, but that is to take notes, you understand, not to implement, okay? And that applies to everything we're going to be doing in this program, okay? So learn it, understand it, take notes, then come back and implement, okay? So I've given you some places where to buy domain names. Now let us go ahead with the practical implementation or the practical demonstration, okay? So the link I'm giving you, you'll find this towards the end of the video, so we're still going to put it there, but the link is philipamiola.org/namecheap. Okay, so I'm going to register this as if I don't know anything about domain registration, as if I'm a total beginner. Okay, so just watch me, philipamiola.org/namecheap. You type that into your web browser. It will take you to the Namecheap website. The intricacies behind this, we're going to cover that in a lesson or a training on affiliate marketing, but just follow. You see, this is it now. Now, they are even having a promo right now. Okay, so I am actually going to register .xyz domain. That's what I had in mind. But I advise that, I have several domains, so I have lots of domains. I have philipamiola.org, I have digitalvania.uk, I have virtualmentor.com.ng, I have brainskills.xyz, I have lots of domain names. Now, you can have a .xyz domain name if the .com of what you want is not available. Okay, but generally for your very first domain name, I recommend that you do a .com. Okay, so the domain name I want to register is this, fundyourdreams.xyz. Okay, and one of the benefits of Namecheap is that if you don't know the TLD you want to use, like .xyz now is a TLD. If you don't know the one you want to use, you can click beast mode and just put the words or the name you want for your domain, and then you click beast mode. Then you can select, you can check various options. You can select a lot of options, and then it's going to give you, you can select these options, and then once you select those options, it will give you recommendations. You understand, so all of that. But I already know what I want. Okay, so I'm just going to go to fund. I'll just type that here, fundyourdreams.xyz. Okay, that's the domain name I want to register, fundyourdreams.xyz. Then I search for that. If it's available, if it's not available, we pick another one. Okay, you see, it even gives lots of options and all. Now, when you want to take advantage of a promo, check very well. Look at this, for example. Now, if I see that, I think I like this domain name, fundyourdreams.fund, and then $11.9 per year. Now, can you see that it's actually $43.9 per year? Okay, so it's only for the first year that I'm going to pay this special amount. Do you understand? So you should be mindful of all of that. So in this case now, fundyourdreams.xyz, okay, I'm only going to pay $2 now because they have running a promo. And if I register for 2 years, I'm going to pay $9.99 for 2 years. Okay, for now, I'm going to register for 1 year. Okay, if you are registering your own domain name, I advise that you do 2 years. And why? You need some time to know that, okay, once I've made this investment, I have made it. Even for your hosting, if you can do 2 years, do 2 years, but at least do 1 year. Don't do monthly plan. Okay, but we're going to get there. So the point is, do as much as you can upfront, so that you can have some, rest, you can have some time to catch your breath, as it were, before you need to, invest in this again. Okay, but if you can only do 1 year, it's fine also. So I'm going to pick add to cart now. Okay, so the domain name is available. I pick add to cart. If it's not available, it will give you options. You can pick one of those options, or you can edit, you can modify. For example, if you want to register something like xyz.com, for example. Let's say you want to register xyz.com, and xyz.com is not available. Don't let me use xyz.com so that it doesn't confuse you. Let's say you want to register something like myname.com, for example, and myname.com is not available. You can change it to the my name. You understand? Let's say you want to register something like BZY School. Okay, let me just use that as an example. BZY School. Let's say you want to register a domain for BZY School, and bzyschool.com is not available. You can change it to bzyschool.com. You understand? You can modify, and all of that. Then if you use the beast mode option that I showed you earlier, it will give you a lot of suggestions. Okay, so this is it. I've added to cart. Can you see checkout? So I don't need all of these extras. Okay, I don't need all of these extras. So I just come here and I pick checkout. Now, depending on when you are taking this training, some of the things might have changed, the details might have changed, but the essence is the same. Just follow the process and, you are going to get it. And if you have questions, you will be able to ask those questions and get them answered on our discussion platform, which I'm going to share the link with you before we finish this training. If you have a promo code, sometimes you may have a promo code, or here the promo code has already been applied. Okay, so I got 82% off, because they are running a promo on this, on .xyz. Okay, so look at it, domain privacy. This is another benefit of Namecheap. They give you domain privacy for free. Okay, domain privacy means that, look at this, for example. Let's come back to this place where I checked for my domain name. Can you see registrant contact? Can you see privacy service provided by they have, you can't find my contact information here. Now, that could be a good thing. It could be, it's up to you, but generally it's a good thing so that spammers cannot just find your information everywhere. And can you see all of the data? But if you send an email, okay, if you send an email, I am going to get it. They will forward it to me, but you won't find my details here. But this whois.com and there are other databases like that. They are public databases for everybody that has registered a domain name. So what privacy protection does for you is that nobody can see your details. But if you're a business, for example, you don't want to use privacy protection. It's not necessary. You're a business, and then maybe your office address, you have your office address, it's not your home address, it's your office address. You want people to know about it. So you don't need to use privacy, service. You can disable it, or, and all of that. But normally you pay extra for that, especially with most of the Nigerian web hosts, if not all of them, you pay for that privacy service. But with Namecheap, it comes free, with it. There was a time they used to charge for it also, but for a long time it's been free. Okay. Now, let me give you another example. Let me search for another domain name, so that you get exactly what privacy protection does. Plenipotent.com.nj. Okay, you can find, okay, can you see? This is the address that we used when we registered the domain name. Can you see? You see that the details are there. This was our office address then. You understand? Can you see the difference? Now, this one doesn't have privacy protection. You understand? Okay, so you get all of the details are there. Okay, but when you search for a domain name with privacy protection, let me check this one too. You see the difference. You won't find all of the details. Okay, you just find the details provided by the privacy um, protection service. Okay, so you see again, privacy withheld, and all of that. The privacy service provided by withheld for privacy, and all of that. You see, so you don't know, you get it here. So that's what privacy protection does, and it comes free with Namecheap. All of the other details, don't bother about those ones for now. Then click on confirm order. I want to be sure I'm still sharing the right screen. Okay, confirm order. Okay, now it's going to ask you to sign up. I told you I'm doing this as if I don't know anything about domain names, as if I'm registering domain names for the first time. Okay, so I'm not going to sign into my account. I'm going to create a new account. There's option to log in. So if after you have registered a domain name, you want to register a domain name again, just log into your account and follow the process. Okay, but in this case, I'm going to create an account. You see, it has given me the option here, create an account. Okay, so I'll pick my username. The username for this account is Bazilai. Then I'll pick my password. Okay, so I just fill up all of this. Okay, then you put your first name, you put your surname, or what Americans call your last name. Okay, then you put your email address. Make sure there is an email address you can access, okay, because you are going to need to confirm. Then if you want to receive Namecheap's newsletter marketing communication, it's fine. Now, some of these things, from the way they craft their mails, from the, you learn a lot, for your own marketing also. Do you understand? Apart from the fact that you get to learn about opportunities, but in my own case, I'm not going to sign up because I already received the newsletter, you understand? But I advise that you sign up, okay, but it's up to you. Some people, they have already signed up for too many things and they just don't want to, it's up to you, but I would sign up if I hadn't signed up before. Okay, so now just click on create account and continue. Oh, username you requested is already in use. Okay, let me change. Okay, username is in use, so I'm going to pick another username. Okay, then create account and continue. Okay, let me save my password. Now, if you're using your laptop, you can save your password. But again, it comes with its own security implications. It's up to you. Okay, so this is it now. Okay, so then you check out, you continue and all of that. But company name, okay, I don't want to do that. I'm not registered on behalf of a company. Okay, I'm not going to check this because I'm not registered on behalf of a company. Okay, so you put your address. You put your address there. Which of my addresses do I use? Okay, let me just put one of the addresses. So you type in the details of your address, your zip code. If you don't know your zip code, you can search for it. In my own case, the location I'm using is Okeopa, Nigeria. So I can just put Okeopa postal code or Okeopa zip code. You'll find it, So once you find, I'll just use this. I think Ile-Ife is the same zip code for a lot of the places. You just look for somewhere that is close to where you are using. In my own case, I'll just use the general Ile-Ife postcode, which is 220. 001, I'll just use this. Okay, it's not like they are sending anything to your house. Okay, so if you want, you can open it and look for a place that is close to your house or maybe even your street. Okay, you can look for your street. Okay, and then pick that. Well, let me try. Let me just No, don't let me do that to save time. Okay, so but you've seen how to search for your postcode, okay, or your zip code. So I'll come back there and I want to be sure I'm still recording. Okay. Okay, so I'll put my postcode here. Then the country, Nigeria. In my case, it's Nigeria. God bless Nigeria. Okay, Nigeria. Then the phone number, you put your phone number, +234. I think I can actually put the full phone number. Okay. Then what else? If you have fax and you want to put it, you can. Okay. So this is it. So you just continue. You can continue here or here. Just click continue. Then it's going to ask you to pay. Now, let me save the address. Okay. Okay, all of this, I'll just use default. Can you see, you can change all of the contact details and all of that. Now, for billing contact, you need to use the address associated with your debit card or whatever payment method you are using. Okay, it's advisable that you do that. But for now, I won't do that. I will see. Okay, if it doesn't go through, then I'm going to change it and I will use that. Okay, then domain privacy, yes. Yeah, okay, I want it to associate. So just check all of these details, save the configuration and move to my default. If you want this, you can save it so that next time you don't have to be choosing it. This will be your default. Okay, then continue. Just follow the steps, but like I said, start by taking notes. Take notes, as you're watching the video, then come back and follow the steps. Okay, so I'm going to add the card that I want to use. You have different options. You can pay with card. You can pay with, there is an option for PayPal. I don't know why PayPal is not showing here. Okay, it's there. PayPal, you can pay with PayPal. You can load funds into your Namecheap account and pay also. Okay, in my own case, I will use card, and I advise that you use card, except if you have PayPal, you can use PayPal. Okay, so add a new card. I'm going to put in my card details. Okay, but card details, all of these things are sensitive. So I'm going to pause recording here. But you know that what you do is you put in your card details, your card number, the month, the year, the CVC code. Now, if you are in Nigeria or other countries where maybe purchasing stuff in dollars is not easy, there is a platform where you can get a dollar card instantly. You just do, the verification is very basic verification, and then you get your dollar card and you fund it with Naira and then use that Naira to buy dollars, and it's very easy. You can easily make your purchase. The card that I'm going to use is from that platform. You'll see the link before the end of this tutorial or before the end of this lesson. So now I'm going to pause the recording. The next thing I'm going to do is okay, fine, let me show you this. Now, if you want to automatically renew, it's recommended. In this case, my case, I want to keep this domain name. So I don't want a situation where, I forgot to renew. So I'll just pick automatically renew. Okay, domain registration. Yes, I want to automatically renew domain registration. Then the free domain privacy also, I want to automatically renew. So I pick, all of those. I don't need a premium DNS. Okay, so once your card is connected to your account and there's money in your card, it will automatically renew. So you don't need to remember, oh, I want to renew and all of that. It makes things easier for you. And as a business owner, that's one of the things you should also start to do. What are some things you can automate? The things that you can automate them so that you don't have to worry about them. You understand? Okay, then I want to save this. Okay, yes, to my default. Yes, I want to do that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to enter the details for my card and I will click continue. But I'll pause recording for security reasons, obviously. So the next screen you are going to see is what happens after I click continue. Okay, so I'll just fill in my details now, and that is it. Okay, so I've actually entered my card details and I see that I can hide it. Okay, I can hide those details and click continue. Okay, so like I've scrolled down so you don't see what the details are. So I click continue, and that's how you also do it. Okay, well, let me save this. Okay, so can you see, just like that. So now you can review the details. You can review the details. So check everything and be sure that it's exactly the way you want it. Okay, then click pay now. 0 out of 2 items. The 2 items are your domain name and then the privacy protection. That's why you have 2 items here. You see, thank you for your order. Well, maybe because it's my first time, then they're asking me these questions. So the domain registration is now complete. The domain name has been registered. Usually it takes like 24 to 48 hours before it completely propagates. Just like when you buy a new SIM card, you do SIM registration and then they will tell you to take a while before the SIM becomes active. But the domain name has been registered. So let me respond to their to their poll. Okay, I'm recommending them already. Okay, so how likely are you to recommend Namecheap to your friends? Are you to? Well, Namecheap and decide, is it not okay? Well, I'm very, very likely, in fact, 100%, because I'm recommending them already. Okay, yeah, then thank you so much, okay, and all of that. Now, this is something that you should also do for your clients. You should have a feedback form, where you get feedback and all of that. Okay, so I don't have anything else to say for now, so I'll just speak done. Okay, so can you see? So the domain name has been registered. Thank you for your purchase. Then download your invoice, because it's important that you keep records and all of that. Download your receipt rather, and all of that, and keep it. Have a folder where you keep all of those details. Next steps, you see what you can do and all of that. But we're going to cover all of this in another lesson. But now our domain name is registered. Fund Your Dreams.xyz is registered. Now, one of the advantages of Namecheap is that with this domain name, you can do a lot of things already. You can redirect it to a different domain name. Many domain registrars offer that also. But Namecheap service, it's excellent, and a lot of things are easier with Namecheap. You can create an email address that will forward, an email address that once people send an email to that domain name, it will forward it, okay, to your own address. So even if you don't have a lot of money, okay, to start with, maybe you don't have a lot of money to build a website and all, but you can register a domain name and set up a custom email on it. If you register, let's say the name of your company is the food company. Let's say that's the name of your company, the food company. You can register a domain name, thefoodcompany.com. Okay, you register a domain name, thefoodcompany.com. Then you create an email address, info@thefoodcompany.com. We're going to cover those details in subsequent training, or if you need it, let us know. Okay, so without a hosting account, without even getting a hosting account, you can set up something like that, info@yourdomainname.com, and you can offer it as a service to people. Tell them, you are going to create a customized email for you instead of using a gmail.com or yahoo.com. It gives you more control. It helps your brand. You tell them the benefits, and you can sell that as a service. You understand? Remember what I said before about my friend that would charge as much as 20,000 naira for a domain name registration, which should back then it was like 3,600, naira in naira value. But now you're adding a lot of other things. You're adding email. You're adding redirection. You understand? Okay. So just to show you some of the things that are possible. Okay, let's even, one other thing, for now, I'm not connecting the hosting immediately, so I can do what I want to do now, but it's not advisable because when you do this, what I'm doing now, sometimes it delays the propagation by the time you now had your hosting account. Don't worry about those details if you don't understand yet. You can ask on the discussion platform. And when we talk about the web hosting, you're also going to understand it better. But let's see, fund your dreams.xyz. But what I'm saying is that if you are ready to build your website immediately, once you register your domain name, don't try to find it, don't try to type it out. Add the hosting first. Okay, put the name servers and everything and add hosting before you try to visit it. But in my own case, I'm not adding the hosting right away. I don't mind if it takes 72 hours or 48 hours to propagate. I don't mind. You understand? Okay, so that's it. As you see, it doesn't even registered on the DNS system, the domain name system. It doesn't register, so it's still saying this site can be, you understand. So, but after a while, to show you that this site was recently registered at Namecheap and all of that, then once I had hosting to it, it will redirect to the actual website. Okay, so that's it But now we have had the practical demonstration, and I hope that you really took notes. Now you can go by domain name registration does not take 5 minutes. And all of these details, it's this long because of all of the details I shared with you, and all of the extras beyond the domain name registration itself, because I want you to understand this. I want you to live here, as a professional. I want you to finish the digital cash flow program, and you are starting your own business, or if you are working, because there's nothing wrong with that. It's all different people with their options. You understand? If you are working somewhere and this knowledge, it's going to add value to you, and to put you in a position to add value to your organization. When and how exactly to happen, you won't know, but it's latent knowledge for you that it will come out at the right time, and people will be wondering, well, how do you know so much? And it's not about what you know, it's about putting it to work, so that you won't be like I was. My boss told me at some point, oh, Philip, you're suffering from information overload. And it's true, because back then I knew a lot, but I wasn't putting those things to work. And he told me, I remember he told me back then, I start teaching these things that He told me back then, that's exactly what I'm doing now. So I am no longer suffering from information overload. I am implementing what I know, and I am teaching others. Okay, so that's it. So the resources for your questions, contributions, comments, you want to show us what you have done, general discussions, we have this platform, Business Mastery Club. Connect with us there. The link is connect.tpcl.com.ng/RSVP. TPCL is short for the Plenipotent Company Limited. Connect.tpcl.com.ng/RSVP. All of the relevant opportunities we have in the company, we share them on that platform. We post inspirational stuff. We help one another. We ask questions, we respond to them. We want to join that community, okay, so that you can get the support that you need if you are not there already. Then to register your domain name, this is the link. I told you about that before. Go to that link, philipamela.org/namecheap, and register your domain name. If you don't have a dollar card, you see, there are a lot of ways to make money. There are people that they don't know how to create dollar card. You can charge for that. Okay, I will help you get a dollar card, and then how much, you understand, and you set it up for them. You understand, and you are learning it for free. Do you see that there are lots of ways to make money? But some of these things, it is better when you package them into a service instead of selling one thing. You understand, you have service packages, and then you now include different details. Now, this website, the website that this link will lead you to, you can create dollar card, you can create US bank accounts, you can do quite a lot with that platform. Okay, so at the end of the day, it is how well you can think, okay, how sharp you are, so to say, in terms of how you apply. Everybody's intelligent, but the way we apply the intelligence is different. So depending on how well you apply your intelligence, that is what will determine how much you can make. Now, we've talked about domain name registration, but there are actually a lot of ways to make money from this training alone, from this lesson alone. You understand? So those are the things. Then we have Virtual Business School. virtualmentor.com.ng is our online school where we have a lot of courses that will be relevant to you. You can sign up and take the course that you are interested in. Then twice a year, we open admission for our coaching program. It's a very intensive program that will change every area of your life. Like, it will transform your life. And I'm not saying it because I'm just saying it. I'm saying it because that has been the testimony from everybody that has gone through the program, 100%. Even those that did not complete it, they are tested to the life-changing nature, the transformational nature of the program. So if you are interested, you can go to philipamela.org/coaching and sign up, so that when we are ready to start admitting the next set, the next cohort, we're going to let you know, and you can get a chance to join us. Okay, so take note, if you don't do anything at all, connect with us on Business Mastery Club, because from there you can always ask questions, you can always get anything else that you need. Okay, and if you have any questions right now, if you happen to be joining us live, because we're having live editions of this also, you can type in the chat, or you can also type, if you are watching the recorded version, you can type in the comments. But the best way to actually reach out is to connect with us on Business Mastery Club. Go to connect.tpcl.com.ng/RSVP, okay? And it's going to lead you to that platform where we communicate and connect. Thank you very much. And feel free to share this with your friends. We're making it publicly available. Like, we're no gateway, as it were. You don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to, you can just get the link, but you should sign up so that we can keep in touch and get relevant opportunities across to you. But you don't need to sign up to take the lessons. You understand? Okay, so feel free to share it with as many people as can benefit from it. Okay. Well, I was going to say that, well, don't use this without permission, like, okay, you are now using it to run your own trainings. It's just not ethical. You understand? It's not ethical. I know some people will still do it, but it's up to you. It's not ethical. If you want to do that, you can get in touch. You can go through the coaching program. We're going to license you officially. We'll license you, and then you don't have to create your own material from scratch. You can use our materials for your trainings. But if you don't go through the coaching program and you are using it on your own, you will eventually get to some point where it will tackle, like we say in Yoruba. Let me say that, as to bring some humor into this. Okay, so it's just advisable that you do the right thing. You understand. Thank you very much. So feel free to share. Okay, but do it ethically. Thank you once again, and bye for now.